Welcome to the Last Week in Denmark podcast. Each week, we're here to talk through Danish news, stories, and developments and how they impact internationals living here. If you're an international living in Denmark or thinking of moving here, you'll want to check out many of these episodes. We've got 4 full seasons ready for you to explore and new episodes every week during season 5. I'm Dom, and I'm here with Narcis. We have around 5 topics to discuss today. We will be discussing the developments of the new government negotiations, the exclusion of 2 members of parliament, the attack on Samira Nawa, claiming she's not Danish, the revelations that Borgernes Parti Emilie Schutte has lied on her CV, and then a positive news to end with, that there is an increased interest in nature shelters and bird watching. Before we get going, we'd like to ask one thing. If what we're talking about resonates with you, please leave a comment for us on Spotify or YouTube. We're here to help internationals in Denmark stay informed and feel connected. Thanks for helping us reach more people like you. So, hello, Narcis. Good morning.
Hello.
You doing?
Actually, funny enough, this is the first time when we're recording together, so I'm really curious to see how will that go.
Yeah.
I know that you joined us like last season, right? But
True.
Due to the fact that I didn't have that many episodes, we never got to record together. But here we are today, in a first chance to do so. And funny enough, it seems that we're both recording from hotels because, as you all probably know, this weekend has been vacation time in Denmark, and more or less many of us have decided to pack their things and go out there and explore, well, Denmark or, whatever is closer, because with the gasoline prices today, it seems that people are starting to like, you know what? Denmark is also nice to visit.
Yeah.
You don't have to go that far. Dominica, were you thinking to go somewhere else, or did the gasoline prices impact you from going too far?
No, I'm actually not in Denmark. I have to disappoint you. I'm in Spain. I'm in Spain,
Of course.
enjoying some sun. So I was just saying I got more sun in the last 2 days than I got in the last 6 months. So that was quite nice.
I guess you must be very recharged, full of energy, vitamin D overcharge. Can you have too much vitamin D? What happens?
I think you can, but I think you can only overdose with the supplements, not with the actual sun. So I think I'll be safe here.
You can overdose on vitamin D. Jesus, that sounds only like something that someone in Denmark would do.
Exactly.
After 6 months of long winter. I mean, we do see the spring outside. I mean, the last days or the last weeks, I noticed that slowly we get like dosage. Our sun dosage gets increased, and I can feel like simply you feel more alive. I feel like I want to do like the projects in the garden that I ignored for so long. I feel like I want to be outside and not sit inside of a house and look at the walls. So I don't know. I just feel that there is a change in the air. Yeah, there is rain and there is stormy weather here and there, but overall, I think spring is present. Would you say so?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think you can really see it in Denmark. Whenever there's a nice day, people just use it fully. And you can see that they really, really appreciate it. We don't take it for granted. So that's quite nice.
Yeah. So talking about spring and renewal and hope and
rebirth.
Rebirth. We have a new parliament. Have you seen the elections? Did you follow?
I did follow. Well, I couldn't vote, but I did follow. I was telling all my friends who could vote to please go vote. Not for the parties that are racist, but for the better parties.
Not for the parties that are racist. Oh my goodness. So you actually, unlike many other internationals, you do have Danish friends. Wow. That's a rarity, I would say.
Some, they're rare, but I keep on to them, and I encourage them to vote.
What is your secret, Dominica? How did you make Danish friends? That's a rara avis.
Yeah, no, I think I mostly know them from work, and then I just keep those relationships. And then I have a lot of friends who have married a Danish person, and they become my friend too. So you have to collect them like that.
It's like Okay. So you had friends to begin with, and they got themselves Danish family, and then there's like, well, now you're also my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no choice.
By association, yeah.
How does it feel for them, the people who are in mixed families, half international, half Danish? How are the Danes feeling themselves, especially during the election time? Have you heard anything? Have you seen any expression of their feelings on that direction?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're for sure more worried about the whole migration thing and how that will impact their partner. Also because some of the friends that I have, their partner is from outside of the EU, which makes it even harder. So I think they're definitely much more aware of the issues, and they think a bit more, from an international lens, which I think is really nice.
Okay. Well, let's see how these government negotiations go, because so far what I've noticed is that all the left-wing parties, or let's just say pro-international parties, who have been invited for negotiations with Mete, and they all have expressed positive thoughts the moment they got out of the negotiations. But now the key seems to be with the Moderaterna, with the Social Liberal Party, because they seem very, very inclined to push for over the middle government, together with the Venstre liberals and the conservatives, which makes it difficult for the left-wing parties, because SF has clearly said, or the Green Left has clearly said, that they don't want to govern with the right-wing blue parties. So, to be honest, I hope that the Moderator and the Lasloke will wake up and realize that, okay, look, your problem was with Enhedslisten, right? With the Red-Green Alliance. You didn't want them to push you too hard, and it seems that they are willing to compromise. So why are you the one running away now, right? Because they put the ball into the very... Okay, they said they don't want to work with extreme parties on right or left, but the extreme party on the left is willing to moderate themselves for the sake of having a left-wing government. So now it's just question of Moderaterna. Will they be willing to let go of this dream of putting together a very strange coalition between SF, Social Democrats themselves, Radicale Venstre, Conservatives and Liberals, which have extremely wide political agendas, and that will make government, well, hell for whoever is in charge and governing, and instead letting go of that and allowing parties with a little bit of more similarities to govern. But in the end, it's their decision. If they will not accept the offer from Mete's side, then Mete will not be able to form a government. So then the king will have to call for another round, and then another round, and it might take, I don't know, 2-3 months. And if by June we don't have a government, most likely they will be calling for another set of elections, which we know is not something that we as internationals want, because that will just feed... Because, the next 3 months, if the whole Iran war continues and the Hormuz Strait stays closed, we will have a economic crisis worse than the one during the pandemic. So that will not be fun. So that means that extremist parties on both left and right will get even stronger. The middle parties will get even weaker. So government, never mind making government now, making government in 3 months from now will be even harder, if not impossible. So what, we will have elections again in 3 months? So hopefully by 2027 we will have a government, right?
We'll have a government, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I know that last term it took 6 weeks, and I think, how much has it been? Has it been 3 weeks now, I guess? No, 2 weeks.
No, 2 weeks,
It's been 2 weeks, yeah. So, I mean, they still have some time. But it's also true what you said, that the extreme parties, they're now gaining popularity. I was reading that a lot of Social Democrat voters, they didn't like the fact that the Social Democrats were so anti-immigration. And a lot of Venstre voters, they didn't like the fact that they were actually quite, you could say, not as strict as they could be on a lot of tax things. So those were supposed to be more centrist parties, and now people are migrating both left and right to the more extreme because people are getting a bit confused what those parties even stand for in the first place.
Did you know that the Last Week in Denmark newsletter is available in 8 languages? Hey there, this is Fionn from the Last Week in Denmark podcast, and every week you guys are tuning in to hear me and my fellow co-hosts talk about the top news of the week in English. But let's be real, we're all internationals, so not only are you speaking English every day, you're probably also speaking a bit of Danish, but you've probably also got your own native language as well, like the multilingual master you are. So why not treat yourself to the luxury of being able to read Danish news each week in your own native language? So head on over to lastweekdk.substack.com, that's lastweekdk.substack.com, and sign up for our newsletter delivered to you every single Sunday.
I mean, it's a sign of the times that we live in. It's quite unfortunate, but you keep hearing that large companies are firing left and right, but also smaller companies are firing left and right because, unfortunately, people have decided to start saving money. People are less inclined to overspend or to spend in general to a, let's just say, level needed for a capitalist society to move forward. So money are just lying around in various bank accounts and savings, and some people put them into stock market, right, as well, but they lost a lot lately. So there's no appetite for buying stuff, and that means a lot of people get fired because a lot of people are blaming now AI for being the reason of why so many people get fired. That is one of the reasons, true, but also another reason is simply the fact that people are not willing to spend as much. And I have a lot of friends who especially work in the service industry who offer, freelance services like video editing, like coming and covering an event for you, or graphic design, or whatever. Any sort of, let's just say, service that you could have or you could just not use it, then they are really not in a good place right now. I don't know. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I think so. I think for sure it's tough for people right now, right? So, yeah, if exactly like you said, if there's anything that you don't use or you don't necessarily need, I don't think people are as likely to spend money on it right now.
Which industry do you work in?
I work in the sustainability / software industry. And I think, and in general, I think sustainability is in a weird spot right now. So.
Yeah, what about software? That seems to also be in a weird spot, or unless you have become a vibe coder yourself.
No, exactly. And I think that is more related to AI in the sense that if there's like a little software that people would have bought in the past, they will try to vibe code it now. And I think it's mostly the legacy platforms that are still having an okay-ish time, like HubSpot, Salesforce, all those big platforms. But it is changing. I don't think like software will ever cease to exist, but I think it will really change. And the basically golden time of SaaS, which was, I would say, like 5 years ago, is over. So it is a very weird time.
It's the time of vibe coding. Are you a vibe coder, Dominika? Have you decided to try that out?
No, I'm not a vibe coder, unfortunately. I'm more of an artisan person, I guess.
Artisan? I mean, you can imagine things, or what? What's your superpower? Because I mean, I guess now today is all about who can imagine the best way or the best solution. Then you tell the computer, do it, and the computer can do it that way, and there you go. You make $1 billion.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I personally don't code anything. I'm on the marketing side, but I do think that as we use more and more AI, the human side will once again become the thing that people want. I mean, one thing that really scared me was that as I was walking here down like the souvenir stores in Spain, there was all these like toys you could buy for children, and you could buy a toy that looked like I don't know if you've seen the Italian brain rot before.
Brain rot. I heard of it. Yeah. So now there's toys about it.
Yeah. So they made it with AI, and now they're making toys for it. So I think it's a bit scary that this is the direction that things are moving.
Well, in a way, I mean, I feel like if you talk to the young generation, they do realize social media is bad for them, which is good, because that means we got to a point where people became aware of the negative effects of social media by themselves. You don't need to just make a campaign and tell them it's bad. They know it's bad, and they even embrace it as a, let's just say, as a joke or as a meme. That's already a good sign, because that means, okay, we're aware this is really bad, and it'll be easier for them to accept decisions like, banning social media or not being allowed to use it or whatever. It's easier to accept when you yourself know, okay, I know it's bad. I know I have a hard time letting go of it. If you tell me I have to let go of it, okay. Then I have a reason to motivate myself internally. Why did I accept such a decision? But not about social media we want to talk today. We want to talk about the new parliament. I mean, how do they choose these candidates? Seriously, like, it's incredible how new parties who managed to make history by breaking the 2% line to get into the parliament keep bringing such characters. I mean, just look at the newest party, the Bornest Party, the Citizens Party, such a strong name.
Yeah.
But it's just a far-right, anti-establishment, put your Staniol hat on type of party.
Yeah, they're just trying to be edgy, basically.
That's edgy today, right? The conspiracy theory type of party. Like, what do we have? I mean, there was this Marjorie something in US that was like a conspiracy theorist, but actually, one thing is it's strange to me, because I have a friend who, her mom is a conspiracy theorist, and she knows that, and she tries to avoid and go around it, but it seems to be a problem of some sort. So there are people out there who embrace being conspiracy theorists, and that's who they are, what defines them. So I'm not surprised that a party appeared to represent their interests. Actually, have you ever met someone like that?
Yeah, I had a friend whose mom was one, and I think I also watched the documentary on Netflix. There's a good documentary about flat earthers, and I think it usually comes from, people not trusting what's out there. Big pharma, obviously, there are things not to trust, and then they choose to direct their energy at finding other solutions. So I think you can understand where those people are coming from. But then I think the problem with the internet is that once you get into the filter bubble of seeing all those weird videos and articles, you kind of can't really get out of it, and it fuels that. So I think that's where the danger lies also.
People are trapped in the conspiracy theory bubble, and it's sad because even if their own family tries to make them aware of the situation they're in, they are willing to listen more to strange people on the internet than to their own children or their own parents or whatever, cousins, whatnot. So that's a bit strange to me, but it's a affliction of modern times. Let's just say it's a I don't even know how to call it, if it's a mental health situation or if it's a state of mind, a way of being, a lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
I don't know how to call it. But the point is, now they have a party in Denmark and they got 4 seats. Well, they had 4 seats. Now they
lost one now.
3 seats. And it's funny because if you look at all four of them are problematic. Never mind talking about their leader, Lars Boye, which the internet is full with situations.
It's a whole other topic. Yeah, exactly.
From the fact that he used money from the previous party, public money, so our taxpayers' money from the party to buy himself clothes and go for vacations. It seems to be a trend in this party. The guy who got kicked out, Jacob Harris, right? What did he do? Something like
he lied, or not lied. They said he failed to provide truthful information about the state of his company, because there's some oath that you have to sign that you're not under a bankruptcy right now, and the company that he owns did go bankrupt. So
but
they excluded him.
It seems that it's deeper than that, because what he was doing in that company, the reason why he became bankrupt was because it seems that he forgot that, business trips are not in Thailand, and
oh, who would have thought?
So, and the fact that he was abusing, it seems actually, there's a story about how he brought a group of Uzbeks to build or renovate some very dangerous asbestos-filled location.
Oh, okay.
And then somehow magically forgot to pay them.
Happens,
yeah.
right?
yeah. And then left them there for, like, people were lost completely, couldn't speak English whatsoever, but he managed to bring them to Denmark somehow. There's a lot of stories with Jacob Harris. It seems to be... he hates any sort of government intervention. He wants the freedom to be one of those hardcore capitalists, and he says all his money made are his money. But the problem is, if you look at the companies he created, there is no real value there. We're talking about buying property and renovating it using people as much as possible, and then cutting costs and cutting corners everywhere you can. I wouldn't like such a landlord or such a developer.
No.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, and who would have thought one of the most racist parties uses labor from abroad, right? What a surprise.
I mean, there's something strange about them, because if you think about it, many people who have anti-international views, they are literally married with internationals, which is... for me...
J.D. Vance, for example.
Yeah, but also in Denmark.
Yeah, also in Denmark.
so it's very common thread. Like at some point, I was just laughing because there was a previous round of elections, and there was a candidate from back then, the New Citizens Party, which now it's more or less dead, and it was the same. He was their lead candidate. He was very anti-internationals, but his wife was Thai, from Thailand. You know, it's like, dude, come on. Like, how can you go so hardcore on your own family is international? But I mean, look at the other candidate from the other member of the parliament, because they got 4, right? So one got kicked out for like more or less fraud during running its own company. The other one, who is now the defender of biological races, right? What did she say? She said a cat born in a horse cell cannot become a horse. It's still a cat, right? Something like that. What the hell? Like, basically she's trying to say that humans somehow are biologically different depending on the genetic code they have, and therefore one cannot become the other.
Yeah. I mean, that's what she was saying to Samira Nawar, right, from Radikale Venstre, who was, her parents are from Afghanistan. She grew up in Denmark, and she was like, "You'll never be Danish." I mean, what is there even to say here?
Yeah, but think about it. Nadia Isaksen. As many people have pointed out on the internet, she is not herself Danish. She comes from Norwegian-Italian roots. Her mom is Norwegian-Italian. So we're not talking about God knows faraway roots. And also, like, her ancestry based on her name is clearly not Danish.
No,
so
exactly.
It's so funny that someone like her becomes the defender of pure Danishness, you know? You can only become Danish by blood. Although I'm not sure what percentage. Are we talking 100%? Are we talking half-bloods? Aren't those like mud-bloods, right? How do they call them in Harry Potter?
It's like a wine, basically.
So from now on, if you want to become Danish, you must give a blood test and be sure. I think so many people, if we were to make genetic testing like mandatory, so many people will be surprised to find out they are not what they believe they are.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, no one's like fully like 100% where they're from, right? There's always something there in the family tree. So, and I think what also scared me in this whole situation is that, I mean, Samira Nawar, she still looks like she could be Danish. I mean, she has light skin and she has light hair. So I can only imagine how much more racist. Yeah, but I can only imagine how much more racist they are to someone who doesn't look like that, who's, I don't know, has darker skin or wears a hijab. So I think that's also a very scary part of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Nadia's Facebook, you can see that she went after anyone who looks in any way different to attack them. She even attacked me during the local elections in the autumn.
That's a pride point for you.
She went to Aalborg and she saw my posters and she took photos of it and then she put them on her Facebook and she said, "I'm pretty sure this guy doesn't even speak Danish. How can he be allowed to be in Danish politics? Out with people like him. Out." So I was like, bro, if you attack me on this, I mean, yeah, I can only imagine what she says about other group populations that we have in Denmark. And I don't even know how she figured out that I'm not Danish, but I guess probably because of the fact that my posters were in many languages, and she assumed that because it's in many languages, you were definitely not Danish. Although Radikale Venstre and their Danish candidates, as per Nadia's definition, they had also election posters in multiple languages. So
they did.
I'm surprised she didn't go after them, but she had a feeling. Of course, she was right. I am not Danish. I am proud European. But and I don't need to become Danish or anything like that. But for some people, it's important to be perceived or be allowed to consider themselves Danish because it's important to their sanity and their identity and their general feeling. And it's fine. We should allow people to feel and define their own culture and be able to express, this is my culture now. That's what I chose. This is the mix I go for. Fine. I don't know, Dominika, do you perceive yourself as what now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was asking that to myself the other day because I don't think that's a straightforward answer. I think I have the thing that a lot of internationals have where I'm in Denmark, I feel a bit more Polish, and when I'm in Poland, I feel a bit more Danish. So it's that weird mix, but I would say that a part of me is Danish, and I am proud of that. Even if Nadia probably wouldn't agree, but
do you think she will know?
That.
Do you think she will know when she sees you?
Yeah, she would probably see something in my face, be like, "No, she's not one of us."
You'd be like, "But how can you say that? I could very well be from Lowland. As you know, half of Lowland population has Polish roots. I mean, how would you know that I'm from Gdansk or Lowland? Same thing, right? You might as well call it this." And have you noticed that, talking about Polish roots, have you noticed that 2 people with Polish roots actually got elected in the parliament?
Really? No, I actually haven't noticed.
One is from Social Democrats, Thomas Klimek, a new candidate from Joring, and also one from Moderaterna, Monika Rubin, from Odense, I think, somewhere south, where she got elected. So there's something.
Yeah.
You can see that the Polish community has been part of Danish history for centuries now. So we have to acknowledge that in a way. But Dominika, if we are to finish today, I mean, I know we said we're going to talk also about the fourth candidate from Bornes Party, Miss Emily Scheidt, who pretended to be an AI teacher 2 years at Rook University.
Yeah, she pretended that her company had worked with KPMG and I think Novo Nordisk, which was later confirmed that it didn't. So you must love such people now getting such an important position. In the end, now they're members of the Danish Parliament. It's not exactly, let's just say, nothing. It's an important position in our society, and the fact that people can get there now by lying on their CV. I mean, we are living on a trust-based society. If you tell me you did that, I believe you did that. I don't want to check on it to see if you did that. No,
but
exactly.
Now the fact that journalists are starting to dig into the new candidates who got elected and already find so many issues. I mean, why did the other candidates, not from this party, but from Liberal Alliance, Cecilie Liu Hansen, who became such a historical thing in Denmark by having 3 mandates and making 1.7 million kronas per year, got them, her boyfriend or whatever person living with her in the same house was pusher for half of Kolding. So, I mean, I'm starting to wonder, how did she get those votes?
No. But at the same time, I do think it's a little bit ironic, given that Alex Van Opsla was very open about doing cocaine. So maybe he knew the boyfriend.
Or maybe Liberal Alliance has a specific type of people attracting them.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think what's kind of the most annoying in a way is that I mean, sure, they got kicked out of the party, both she and Jacob Harris, but they still get to stay in the parliament. I mean, as independents, right? But so you can still like lie about things, whatever. You get kicked out of the party, but you still stay in the parliament. And I mean, you earn 90,000 a month. So.
Yeah, it's a bit sad, but there's nothing we can do over, because then you need to change the actual constitution, because the constitution says the people elect, not the party. So if the people put you in there, then for 4 years, for the bad or for the worse, you are there. That's kind of, let's just say, loopholes of democracy, let's call them. The weakness. And now it started a debate about the fact that, okay, parties now do have a responsibility to do better screening, better checkups, and actually look into the candidates they're putting forward. I mean, come on, you should have a basic interest to not know that your top candidate, who already made history on local and regional level, was living with a known drug dealer, not dealer, a drug leader in the city. How can that escape you? I mean, I understand that it's Kolding and it's not Copenhagen and you don't see what the hell happens in Kolding, but come on. I'm sure someone in that party, in the local party, would have known this information before.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like something that would be easy to hide, right? So...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just disappointed, and I hope that this will actually push parties to do something about it. Because, for example, I am part of a party that's one of the old parties, right? The 100 years old party. And in our party, it would be impossible to pass through the internal screening if you did anything bad, like, because there's just so difficult to obtain a seat as a candidate to begin with. So it's not just like this, that, people, the moment we have internal elections, the moment people will tear you down if they find anything, just to make sure you don't get that seat. So I think that simply the situation that happens in many of these new parties is that they don't have enough candidates. They don't have enough people interested to run.
So they take whoever. But I think the good side of it is that this way the right-wing bloc has lost 2 seats. So that's one way of looking at it.
Not necessarily, because they can still make deals with it. Because as an independent now, yes, they don't have much. Well, they have no power, no influence. They have no seats. They just sit there and, come to work, and they have no actual responsibility, which for some can be actually a blessing, because Cecily has 3 mandates. She has plenty of work to see after. But otherwise, the Blue Bloc can still make deals with them in exchange for their vote. Hey, I will give you a seat as a vice president of this commission. Just come and vote with us when I tell you to vote with us. So, because, Moderaterna lost also a few people last time when they were the so-called clown bus, as they like to say it in Danish media.
They tried to buy that seat back, I think, right? Didn't they?
Back then, but failed in their face, of course, and that became another bad scandal for them. But anyway, now Moderaterna have done a better job. They have 0 scandals so far.
That's great.
People have forgotten about us, so they became a more established party, you can say. But it feels like all the new parties, I swear, before Moderaterna there was Alternative. Every single new party, the moment they get elected into the parliament for the first time in history, literally days, weeks, months after, there is scandals about their candidates, about the newly elected people. So it simply shows that new parties take whoever comes in. They're just happy for whoever is willing to put in the time and be present, and they are taking it in that direction. But enough about the parliament. Let's just use the last minute on public shelters and bird watching. Yeah, I mean, that became a crazy thing. It's a national sport, bird watching now. Are you doing bird watching, Dominika?
No, to be honest, I don't, which I feel like I should. Now that I've read about it, I feel like I should, but I don't know anything about birds. What about you?
No, I don't have time for something like that. I feel like it's something that I would do if I retire, maybe, but no, not even then. I'm not that crazy about looking at birds. Probably I'll find a different hobby for myself. What about public shelter in nature? Have you ever tried that? Did you know that they were free?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I haven't tried that. I don't think I'm much of a camper type, but it's good for others to know, I guess.
So if someone wants to try that experience, it must be an experience.
Knock yourself out.
To be honest, that I would try. That it's not out of life. I think once the children will be much older, I would try that, even as a family, just to give them that experience of waking up in the middle of nature in the morning.
Under the open sky.
That would be quite priceless. Wait, public shelters not under the open sky. You have a cover, right?
No, but there's two types. You can also sleep under the open sky if you want. There's different types of them, so depending how risky you are. But also the AP Müller Foundation, they've awarded a grant of 16 million to build 300 new shelters across the countries. Nice. So you could try one of the brand new ones, basically.
Fantastic. Well, with this, we say thank you for this episode. Thank you, Dominika. It was nice to have this conversation with you on many different topics since the beginning. And otherwise, see you next time. I don't know when I'm going to be recording again, but for sure
but see you next time.
Before June when we end this season. So have a great one.
Have a great one and speak soon.